Good morning, everybody. We are so excited to have such a wonderful turnout for today's webinar of our VRM Insider. And today we are going to be joined by two of our fabulous friends from Vrbo, Mayor and Stacy. And I want to give everybody a few minutes to come in and get settled. I know it's hot outside today, so hopefully you all are able to stay in and enjoy the air conditioning and the iced tea and water. But that's the way summers are here. It is good to see so many people again joining us. I see a lot of familiar names, and that's always fun. I've got right at 11:30, so I'm going to give everybody just a couple of minutes, and then we will officially get this kicked off. All right. All right. So again, welcome to today's webinar. Our session today on VRM Insider is going to focus on Vrbo. We're going to take a look at maximizing bookings and unlocking traveler trends and optimization tips for your vacation rentals. And we are lucky to be joined by two experts in the industry from Vrbo, Mayor and Stacy. And I am going to turn it over to them so that they can have the full time to share their experience and tips and trends and everything that you guys are going to need to make your bookings more successful for Vrbo. All right, ladies, I'm turning my camera off and giving you the show.
Perfect. Thank you, Lauren. So, hey, everyone, I'm Stacy with Vrbo. I work with VRM as their connectivity account manager, and we have Mare Janess, who is a partner success account manager here at Vrbo as well. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today for this webinar. Again, like Lauren said, this is maximizing bookings through unlocking traveler trends. And I want to thank VRM for co-hosting this webinar with us. They've been a connected partner with us for many years, and we appreciate their partnership and look forward to continued growth. Quick reminder, give me 1 second. There is some confidential information that we're going to be sharing here around data and market trends. So this is not public information, but it is stuff that we do share with our partners. So you are able to talk to your owners about this, and we're happy to help you with more data. But again, just don't be publicly posting some of this information. There is a Q&A box at the bottom of your Zoom that you can feel free to add questions throughout the webinar, and we will do our best to get to them at the very end. All right, so let me go ahead and get started. So we're going to spend a few minutes just talking about why Vrbo. Like, why are you using Vrbo? Many of you are already using Vrbo, and we'll talk about why. That's a good thing. And then Mayor's going to go into some of our market and traveler trends, and then the best way to attract those travelers and increase your bookings through optimization efforts. So, like I said, many of you guys are already using Vrbo, but I would like to spend a few minutes about what type of value Vrbo brings to you and the type of travelers we also bring to your properties. So Vrbo isn't just another listing site. Our travelers consistently outspend and outstay other platforms. In fact, Vrbo guests spend 58% more overall on vacation rentals and 47% more per night. They also tend to stay longer excuse me, they also tend to stay on average a full day longer at your property. So this means higher revenue potential per booking and not just more bookings. So for many travelers, the journey isn't just about the destination. It's about the people they share it with. Our travelers prioritize vacation rentals that allow them to spend quality time with loved ones, seeking spaces that offer comfort, flexibility, and a sense of home. So on average, a Vrbo traveler takes about 4.2 trips per year. The average booking window when we pulled this data was 89 days. Mayor will go into some more information about some of the trends we're seeing around booking windows, and it's actually gone down quite a bit. But based off of when we pulled this data, it was 89 days. And like I had mentioned, excuse me. And like I said, our travelers book accommodations that cater to multiple guests, preferring properties with ample space, amenities, and features designed for shared experiences. So, in the end, we just want to talk about, the Vrbo. When you list with Vrbo, you get to manage that through your VRM technology, with flexible text solutions. Again, you get to capture new incremental guests, and you benefit from our high value travelers who are large groups and families. And then you also have the benefit of having expert guidance and support. And we'll talk more about our partner success team and what they can bring to you. And we have a very trusted and secure marketplace. So at this point, I'd like to pass it over to Mare. Again, she's with our partner success team, and she can go over more about what she brings, and then she'll go over the traveler trends and bookings.
Thank you, Stacy. Hi, everyone. As she said, I am a partner success account manager. I am so sad if y'all don't know what that is, just because majority of y'all by far have one. We are here to help coach y'all and essentially get you more bookings because y'all's success is our success. So our primary purpose is to have business coaching about best practices. We'll give you insight if there's new offerings on Vrbo. There are going to be traveler and market changes over time, which do impact the booking rates and different types of adjustments that you can make to essentially gain more traction with the travelers as times change. We are providing education on offerings, and we help simplify. If there are questions regarding guidance that you might be confused about on certain policies, we can clarify that. But for anything that's going to be actually an issue resolution does go through support. You open a ticket, and that ticket then gets sent out to whatever applicable team is needed to resolve that case. So we are here for coaching and data analysis primarily. If you haven't met with your account manager, please do double check your email. It goes to the login that you use for your Vrbo account, and your account manager, I'm sure, has reached out to you and would love to chat. So let's go ahead and move into the topics for today. All right, so we're going to be going over mostly content, how you can improve your content to gain more traction, the differences in the booking windows, especially this year, changing trip durations, and flexible planning. Since this has got a lot of uncertainty going on in the economy lately, there are going to be impacts to the travel industry. So we're going to go into each of these topics in more depth. All right, next slide. So for content, there are going to be a variety of things that go into the search rankings to help you improve. However, some of the ones that people are maybe less aware of is that just the quality and completeness of your listing goes into that. So ensuring that you've got as many things ticked off as possible helps to attract travelers and to understand how to improve your property's performance based on what you can offer or maybe what you can just clarify in your listing. So one of the things that goes in there is photos, taking off as many amenities as possible and having the quality and completeness of your listing, filling out more information about it. Other factors can also include acceptance rate, making sure that you're accepting your bookings in a timely manner. Instant book is preferable, not canceling on travelers, and of course, competitiveness of your rate, as that is going to factor in really importantly to travelers. It is a limiting factor for people, so that goes in there. So let's dive into what else is going to be included when we talk about listing content. Yep, thank you. For example, photos, that's going to be the first thing that travelers see. Your thumbnail photo is very, very important to attract travelers to click and explore your listing further. So for images, think colorful, high contrast with good resolution and preferably brightly lit and professionally taken. So having professional photos is important because it shows that you're a professional business. There are some people that can take good photos, but it is noticeable when they're not professionally taken. So it's a good way to showcase your product. Your photos are essentially what you are selling on your property. It's very important that you've got plenty of them and that they're great quality. So our recommendation is to select a thumbnail photo that showcases special amenities or water-related views because this is extremely desired by travelers, especially this time of year. Think of the seasonality, what travelers are mostly wanting, which could be pools, water amenities, or views of water. So if you can switch your photos up right now, it will really help get more clicks. If you don't have things or water related, that's totally fine. Highlight other special amenities or offerings that you have that the property can showcase. Some other things to think about is that data-wise, 52% of travelers were influenced by beautiful images. It is the #1 reason that people will click on a property is because of the photo. You can try testing out different photos, different times of the year, but really the brightly lit, colorful ones that showcase amenities is the best way to go. Keep in mind that when someone goes to your property display page, they're going to see 5 photos in the landing page, and we recommend that it is not going through the flow of the home as if they were walking in and touring. It is best to put a variety of your best offerings in the first 5, and on average, people only look at the first 9 photos to decide whether or not to continue looking through the rest. So really put your special items there. There is another correlation between having a large number of photos and the likelihood of earning a booking. So having 25 plus photos is needed, but we recommend having 30 or more. Plenty of photos is going to help the traveler to envision the property and the area as well that they'll be staying in. All right, so next slide. All right. On the next slide, we've got, thank you. Headlines and descriptions are going to be the next thing that travelers see. It is going to impact their initial impression. So it's important to have an attention-grabbing headline that is going to highlight the best attributes of the property. That should include special features. People forget that people can filter for bedroom count and other types of basic information. So really you should be saying what makes your property really desirable or stand out from others. That includes pools, game rooms, keyless entry like self-check-in, locations or views if it has beach access, a water view, trails nearby. Those are wonderful things to help get more traction for the listing. Or if it has a unique offering like pet friendly. This is highly desired. There is not enough inventory that is pet friendly for the demand. So if you can set yourself apart by being pet friendly, then that'll definitely be something you should include in the headline. If you have golf carts, I know some of y'all include that or make it optional. There can be, even in Florida, we've got a lot of amusement parks. Sometimes people offer shuttles. If you're close to a water location, then highlighting whether or not you have beach chairs included or beach towels, those are highly desired as well. For the description, travelers are going to heavily rely on what you have input in there so they can learn as much as possible about the property. The more they learn, the more comfortable they're going to get with feeling about booking your property versus another. So make sure you include helpful property information like square footage, the size or type of bed, if the particular room they're going to be staying in has an adjoining bathroom, or which rooms go to which bathrooms. Especially if you're dealing with larger properties, this can be very important when people are deciding whether the layout is going to work for them and how they split the residence. Other details you can include in the description would be whether you have pack and plays upon request, if you are offering dog crates, things that help a traveler with pets make their trip more easy, and of course protect your property with having dog crates while they're out. Offering beach towels, a lot of people don't offer this, and it is really important because most people who are traveling don't have the extra space to pack in a large beach towel with them. Number of parking spots. People do have a button to tick off whether or not they've got parking, but if you are a larger group, it is really important to know how many spots are available and where that parking is, whether it's covered or not, etc. And then accessibility. We're really trying to help push people to be more aware that even just filling out the content of how their layout works is going to help you to increase in search rankings by having that information. So if you've got step-free entry, the wheelchair accessible size of doors would be 32 inches wide. And if you can please specify in the photos which floors the rooms are located, that'll make it easier to understand if someone with that accessibility desire is able to easily access the floor that the room is located on. So make it easy for your travelers to know whether or not this home is going to work for them, and that'll increase your conversion rate. All right, we're ready for the next slide. And then amenities. So amenities directly influence a traveler's decision to book. Check that you have the essentials ticked off, like air conditioning, strong Wi-Fi, well-equipped kitchens. They're all now baseline expectations, but they still need to be filled out. So that influences whether or not you even make it into the search consideration. You might be surprised to learn that travelers use on average 6 to 7 filters, which is quite a lot of things. Not all items are filterable, but when a traveler filters out for amenities that you just missed to tick off, then you're not going to be included in that search, and you're decreasing your exposure and likelihood of getting a booking. So additionally, the more amenities you have selected, the higher that your listing will favor in the algorithm, and it'll place in future search results. So go in there. We do on occasion add more amenity offerings. Like this last year, we added electric vehicle chargers, EV chargers. And so it is good to habitually, maybe like once a year or once a quarter, go in there and just ensure that all of your listings have as many of the offerings ticked off as possible. Okay. Another part of amenities would be location filters. So that would include topics like if you're oceanfront or near a beach. Location filters are also considered amenities and things that people can filter for. So offering in-demand amenities can help set you apart and make your property stand out from other competitors and attract more bookings to boost your revenue. All right, next slide. You may be wondering, what are the filterable amenities? I've got them listed out on the left, some of the popular ones. There are more than this, but one way you can easily figure out for your specific region what are the top items that travelers are filtering for, go into Vrbo.com and pretend to be a traveler. When you do your search, you'll see on the screenshot here that there is a toggle that says popular, and that drop down will show you all of the ones for that location that are the most highly clicked for. So you can also ask your account manager to provide you with a more extensive list of what people are searching for in your area. But this is a quick way to assess over time for your location on your own what those ones would be. So the goal is to have as much filled out as possible so you can appear in more searches. Pets is something that you can really do to help set yourself apart. Allowing them and considering different amenities that'll make it easier for them. Whether you have a fenced-in yard, you should specify that, since pet owners often like to know about the fencing. If you offer pet beds, water bowls, walking trails, those kind of additional items you can outline in your description. All right, next slide. Okay, thank you. We're going to talk more about flexible planning, because we do have, as one of the, I forgot to note on the prior slide, one of the top filtered offerings is going to be free cancellation. So it's very important that we discuss the shortening booking windows and how flexible planning and free cancellation plays into this. So as we are having more uncertainty in the economy over the recent years, this has led travelers to prioritize flexibility. So they do favor listings that offer free cancellation and rescheduling options without penalty. This is not necessarily something that Vrbo favors. Vrbo knows what travelers are looking for, and the more that you offer things that travelers are looking for, the algorithm is going to boost up those in-demand offerings. So we are experiencing shorter booking windows. As more travelers are making spontaneous decisions, they're often making reservations just weeks or days in advance. Keep in mind that when someone clicks on free cancellation filter, the lead time is accounted for. So even though you may offer a free cancellation policy, like let's say that it's 60 days, when someone goes in to log in and they click free cancellation filter, but they're only looking, let's say, 1 month in advance, it is only going to populate the listings that are free cancellation for that lead time. All right. So lead time for Q1 of 2025, Vrbo stats here. I grouped them into a few of the popular states where a lot of y'all's accounts are located. 45% of all the bookings in Q1 were captured with a lead time of 1 to 60 days. So that's 2 months or less. North Carolina had 40% under 60 days. South Carolina also had 40% under 60 days. Something to note, though, when I look at more specific ranges, if I am booking in 1 to 2 month period, that was the largest group of travelers. It was 20% of the total. So it's the highest booking rate in that time frame. The other high one would be 2 to 4 weeks out. That was 10%. There are still people who are booking earlier out, but majority of what we're seeing this year is that the lead time is shortening. If anyone is going to be looking 1 month, actually under 30 days, the free cancellation option that would still appear to them would be moderate or relaxed. Okay, next slide. For our booking windows, here's some more stats. This is going to be the US overall. This chart's going to help you envision what I'm referring to. This is Q1 of 2025. We've got bookings and the different timelines. In the middle, you'll see the peak is 1 to 2 months out. We have then 2 to 4 weeks, 1 to 2 weeks on the left, 3 to 7, and 0 to 2. So vacation rentals in the past used to book out several months in advance. We still have that, but we're seeing more and more increase in the last minute option. So what does this mean for you? We're going to discuss this more in depth on the following slides, but one thing to think of is that people with the uncertainty of the economy are waiting longer to determine whether or not they can take that special trip. All right, so next slide. Thank you. So as lead times are shortening, we need to consider that traveler stay lengths are impacted by that too. Typically, travelers who are booking with a short notice are not able to clear their work calendars for an entire week or longer, so they're seeking options that allow for a shorter getaway. The 2 to 3 night trip remains a core segment, especially for locations like cityscapes and regional tourism that offers a quick and refreshing break from routine. The data for Vrbo in Q1 2025, we noticed that for US as a whole, 45% of all the bookings are for 2 and 3 night stays, 30% are for 4 and 5 night stays, and only 10% were for 7 night stays. So if you are offering only week-long or longer bookings, this is going to be a limiting factor. Travelers are increasingly booking midweek stays on top of that to avoid peak pricing and weekend crowds. So it results in even more booking patterns across the week for various check-in days. So please do not hold yourself back. If you do have like a local laws requirement of 7 nights, consider offering various check-in days, because Friday to Friday or Saturday to Saturday check-ins is going to be much harder to capture. Since we want to be more open to attracting more bookings, then please allow for various check-in dates. Okay. Also consider that as the vacation rental industry is changing, you are becoming more aligned with hotels as your competition. So when you're considering having hotels as your competition, you have to think about what things they might be offering, which you are not, or property managers in general might not be. So that leads me to the next topic of cancellation policies. Thank you. Listings that offer no penalty cancellation windows are outperforming this ones with strict rules. So we want to help ease traveler anxiety and drive higher conversion. There's still a lot of potential for great revenue, increasing revenue year over year. I'm seeing it, but the people who are adapting and providing the things that travelers want are the people who are really skyrocketing right now. So properties that have a more flexible cancellation policy on average are going to see 10% higher booking conversion rate, so the likelihood of capturing a booking when you're in search. They have 3 times as many listing views, 2 times as many property page clicks, so actually entering their page listing, and more than 30% increase in net booked value, which is the most important topic. You want money, right? Net booked value. It is 30% higher for those people who offer a flexible cancellation policy. All right, next slide. I wanted to pull some data that is specific to the states that a lot of y'all are located in, and it is easy to see with this chart where all the bookings are going. So in each column, you've got the various cancellation policies that Vrbo offers. There is a field custom for software providers that allow for custom cancellation policies, which could be a mixed bag, anywhere between, if someone offers a few days cancellation to several months in advance. So we've got on the left, relaxed, moderate, firm, strict, and on the far right, no refund, which are the Vrbo offerings. But no, for Florida, Q1 of this year, only 3% of all the bookings are going to no refund. However, moderate, it's got 11 times more bookings at 35%. In blue, that's the column that represents the booking percentage of where the bookings are going. Green represents how many listings are on that particular cancellation policy. So when you're considering the yellow one, that is the cancellation rate per policy. It's saying of all the bookings that did happen for relaxed, what would be on average the percentage of cancellations seen for that group? Okay, next slide. Now we've got North Carolina. This is Q1 results on Vrbo. I wanted to, with the red arrow, highlight the yellow. It's the cancellation rate. A lot of people think, oh, if I have a more lenient policy, I'm going to have far more cancellations. And we're seeing that the cancellation rate is relatively the same across all the policies, except for no refund, but no refund does get a far less bookings. So on the moderate one for North Carolina, you actually have a slightly lower cancellation rate than the firm, which is more restrictive. So it does matter. The blue again represents the booking rate, and the green represents how many listings are currently on that. So next slide. In South Carolina, Q1 results on Vrbo, we do see one of the other charts I want to explain is the moderate green. The arrow is is going upwards towards the blue. I wanted to show that you've got less listings on moderate compared to the booking rate. So even though there are relatively, compared to relaxed, less properties on moderate, their booking rate is far higher. So if the risk is going to the reward is going to outweigh the risk essentially when you're on these more flexible policies. So the stats show that this is something that's going to help you, not harm you. And of course, we want that you're attracting more bookings. All right, so your cancellation policy choice matters. And we are ready for the next slide. Thank you. With cancellation policies, help manage guest expectations and reduce the likelihood of cancellations, improve guest satisfaction, offering a clear policy that details your cancellation window. Flexible cancellation options are going to boost your visibility and your bookings. To adapt your demand with the right level of flexibility for you, you can choose between our offerings. The flexible options help increase visibility, bookings, and revenue by giving travelers something they really, really value, which is flexibility right now. So our data shows that properties with flexible cancellation policy see 5 times more bookings than those on no refund. And the conversion rate specifically I pulled for VRM listings that are on Vrbo, the conversion rate is highest with properties that are on relaxed. They're almost 3 times higher than VRM listings that are on no refund. And then the second highest conversion rate is moderate for you guys. So even when we're looking at your software specifically, this stat continues to show that flexible cancellation policies matter. All right, and let's go to the last. So in order to summarize all of this, there are a variety of things you can do to help align with traveler demand and improve your listings, starting with amenities and content, ensuring that you've got complete photo count, content, location filters, descriptions, headlines, etc. Take into consideration that the lead time, the booking window is shortening and how that impacts other traveler trends. Expand your potential to capture more bookings by offering a shorter minimum night stay. You know, if you have your pricing set up to where your pricing is peaking higher on weekends and lower on weekdays, then those high-priced weekend trips that might be shorter are still very valuable, and you could end up still getting your calendar full. And then cancellation policy, appeal to travelers by offering more lenient policies. So I hope all of this really helps. Please do reach out to your account manager for more detailed insights on your region. And we're going to now move over to the Q&A portion. If you haven't already had a chance to ask a question, you can throw it in the chat. And additionally, we will have a survey that pops up on your screen shortly. If you could please fill that out, it'll just take a minute. And we really appreciate your time today.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mayor. That was very interesting. I come from old school vacation rentals, so I'm used to the vacationing Saturday to Saturday or Sunday to Sunday. But I'm going to be honest with you, the thought of being able to vacation even Thursday to Thursday is extremely appealing because then I actually get both of my weekend days, full days on vacation. So I have really enjoyed the information that you've shared. And
Thank
again,
you.
it's just interesting to me to see how the industry is changing and how Vrbo is keeping up with the trends and what's happening in the marketplace so that they can accommodate what vacationers are looking for and that you offer that to the people who are utilizing Vrbo as a booking platform. So thank you all very much for taking time today to share that with us. I know a number of the people who have joined us today from the VRM side have been using Vrbo and have been very successful with that partnership. I hope that if questions are in their heads that they will reach out and share them. I haven't seen any pop up yet, but sometimes it takes that, day after to think of the questions like, oh man, I should have asked this question. So just letting you all know, if any of you think of questions after this ends, please feel free to reach out to our help desk and we will get in touch with Mayor Stacy and get the information to you guys if it's not something that we can answer on our side.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question out of curiosity. If we have a client that is interested in connecting with their partner, their care partner, as far as some additional coaching, but they're not sure how to get in touch with that individual, is there somewhere that we can point them to get that
Mm-hmm.
information, or how can we help them with that connection?
Yeah, that's a great question. You're able to call support and ask who your account manager is. There should have been an email sent to you, if not an attempted phone call. It would be going to the email address that you use to log into your Vrbo dashboard, and our email addresses in expediagroup.com. So you might want to search your inbox for that handle, expediagroup.com. But calling support and simply asking who your account manager is, they do have access to that information. One other thing that did come to mind I wanted to just touch on real quick is the minimum night stay. Just something to think about. Right now, we do have a short booking window if you're still trying to capture summer bookings, and that means that people are probably not able to stay as long. So you can change your minimum night stay for just select months and change it back, for future summer stays if you wanted to make adjustments to be more flexible right now. So if you just test it out shortly on the next coming months, that will have a positive impact. If it's something that goes well for you, then maybe you can consider it long term.
Excellent. That's a great tip. And I think we did just have a question come in. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. Is that okay, Mayor? Just so we've got answers that we can give and nobody's
Yes.
intimidated. Okay.
Yes, that's great. We're going to stop the recording so this is private.